Do you ever want to dive deeper into the Bible, but you just don't know where to begin or struggle to feel like you even have the time? When you read the Bible, do you get frustrated because you know there's so much more in there, you just have no clue how to get it out? Or maybe you just want to know the Bible better and you're looking for any resource to help. Well, then this is the podcast for you. Welcome to the Context and Color of the Bible podcast. We are two sisters. I'm Erica.
And I'm Veronica.
We love to study the Bible and help others understand it better. When it comes to our own study of Scripture, we have found that in bringing back the context of Scripture, it adds to our understanding. It actually adds color to the black and white pages of the text.
Why are you laughing?
Because now I want to go back and hear it. Because I think I went... do you ever want to dive deeper? I think I went, it was either deeper or read. I went, read. Like my voice
I
shook
didn't
a
catch
little.
that at all.
Oh, good. So probably the listeners didn't, but I felt it.
I just know since she's laughing and it's like, do I hit stop and we just start recording again?
No.
Nope. This just lets you know it's always live.
Right. Yep. Yes. One of these days we won't be live. We are going to record an opening and get it good.
Get a good solid one.
That's right.
Yes.
But not today.
Nope. But we have just finished up, I don't know
Micah.
how many weeks on Micah.
It's been a long time since we've been in the basement, just the two of us.
I know.
How are you?
I'm good. I've seen you.
I
just
know.
not across the table
Right.
like this. But we are here today, and I'm just going to quickly tell you what the plan is for the next several weeks.
Go for it.
Today, we are doing a podcast on the word joy.
Yep.
And then we're going to do 4 weeks on the Christmas story.
And if you were wondering
Correct.
who's in charge of the podcast,
It would be me.
it would be the older sister.
the organized one.
She is. She's wonderful.
Yes.
I'm so grateful.
And then we're going to take 2 weeks off for Christmas and New Year.
Merry Christmas.
We'll say that at the end of the
Oh,
Christmas
never mind.
one.
I take it back.
But that's the plan. Basically, you have 5 more weeks of the podcast left in this year.
Yep.
And then 2 weeks off just because the holidays are crazy. It allows us a break. And then when we wrap up our last Christmas one, we'll tell you what to come back for in January.
Woohoo.
Because we have an all new, just Erica and I again.
Just a new lineup for us.
Yes. So, but today,
Yes.
I had said to Erica, we're coming up Thanksgiving's like roughly 10 days from now. It would be nice to do a quick little word study on the word joy. And Erica's like, great, go for it.
Yeah. I just did quite a few for my word study book.
Yes. Which, do you want to tell us about that?
Yeah, the word study book is out. It's 8, diving deeper into 8 Hebrew words. You can do it as a group study, individual. It's broken up into chapters, so you could do it 8 weeks, 1 chapter a week, and each chapter ends with some questions to help you dive deeper into the scriptures. Okay, now that we've gone through, here's what this word means. Now let's go back to scripture and apply that meaning to different passages of scripture. And how do we apply it today to our own lives?
And what's the title of the study?
Restoring Ancient Words. It took me a minute. We went through a lot of titles.
It did. And
But-
you can purchase it locally from Erica.
Yep, I've got it.
Or if you're not local, and
Amazon.
you don't feel like driving to Ludington, Michigan.
Although I'd love to meet you.
Yes, you can purchase it off Amazon. Just look up Restoring Ancient Words and Erica Van Heidsma.
Yeah.
And as always, the links are all there if you go just to our website.
Right.
Three W's. Context and color of the Bible.com. Got a little caught up in that.
Well, IEW does www. No.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a homeschool thing.
it is. But so anyways, joy is not one of the 8 words
No, it's not.
Erica looked at.
So I was excited to learn.
I know. And what's hard is there's not a good dictionary out there. Because truthfully, one source said there's more than 10 different Hebrew words giving different aspects of joy.
Which I think is so incredibly important because, like, don't they say the Eskimos have 8 different words for snow or something?
I think I've heard that, yeah.
You have a lot of words for something that's important to your culture.
That's a
And
good
so
point.
for the fact that Hebrew has 10 words for joy, that means God thinks joy is important.
And you're going to see it as joy or rejoice or be glad or celebrate or merry.
Oh, those are
all the different ways you'll see it translated
Okay.
into English.
Okay.
But I'm just going to give you a couple. Gil, G-I-L.
G-I-L. Okay.
Comes with the idea of spinning around and twirling, which if you think about it, you think of young kids.
Yeah, that's a common.
When they're having fun and
Yeah.
laughing, or when they're spinning around twirling.
Yeah, they're
They're
usually
often-
laughing. And
Yes, and joyful.
Yeah.
Another one. Sasson. S-A-S-S-O-N.
Sure.
And then Rena.
Yes, that's where our daughter's name came from.
Yes, but it's spelled differently. This one I saw was R-I-N-N-A-H.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And that means a shout of joy.
Yep.
Do we think Rena's a shout of joy?
We shouted when she was born.
She's probably your quietest child, though, truthfully.
She is. But you know what? She's also the one who can laugh at herself the best.
Oh, okay. There you
She's
go.
really good at finding joy in herself.
Yes. Yeah. So, and then there's 3 words, and I'm just giving you a couple of them. There's 3 words that all have the same root, but you switch it a little bit. It can be a noun, it can be a verb,
Right.
it can be an adjective. And that is the word simcha.
Simcha for Simchat Torah.
Yes. Do you want to say what that is real quick?
Oh, goodness. It's where they're celebrating the Torah.
Yes, it's rejoicing of the Torah.
Yes.
And it's actually it's with the Festival of Booths.
Yes.
So they just celebrated it.
A few weeks ago. When we're recording, it'll be a month or two.
Yeah. It was in the beginning of October.
Yeah.
But they celebrate every year the rejoicing of God giving the Torah.
And they bring out the Torah scrolls and they dance with them around the synagogues or in front of the wall of the temple platform, Temple Mount. And I mean, it's like a party. They are dancing and singing and they're passing the Torah scrolls back and forth. It's really cool to see.
Yeah. And you can actually go on YouTube and different
Oh,
social
yeah.
media accounts I saw. We're all celebrating that
Yeah.
this a couple weeks ago. But so that's the main word that I'm focusing on. Can you say it one more time? Because I never do go with that.
Simcha.
Yes. That guttural ha.
Yeah.
But that can mean joy, rejoicing, be glad, celebrate.
So is that the main
That seems to be
word?
the main
Okay.
word everyone was keying off of.
Okay.
But here's a couple things. The first time you see that word mentioned, it's in Genesis 31:27. And I'm going to have Erica read that for us.
All right. Genesis 31:27. Why did you run off secretly and deceive me? Why didn't you tell me so I could send you away with joy, singing to the music of tambourines and harps?
Which is fascinating because if that didn't, that
Are
little
you
bit
gonna-
Erica read doesn't give you any
Context?
context. That's where Jacob and Rachel and Leah and Bilhah and Zilpah are all sneaking away from Laban.
Right.
And he's caught up to them, but it's before Rachel's sitting on his household gods.
Right.
And he's like, why did you leave? I would have left. You could have left with this joy and celebrating. And you go, okay,
Why
The
would that be the
first
first time?
I know. But I thought it was interesting because I read this. Hadassah Byrne points out that in the midst of saying goodbye, whatever happens, whether Laban really thought he would have celebrated had he have known. I know, I doubt it. But they're getting ready to say goodbye, potentially forever.
Yes.
It's not like in this land,
Yeah.
there's not snail mail.
Skype.
There's nothing. So you potentially leave, say goodbye, and I'll never see you again.
Right.
And she just brought up a fascinating point that during this time where they're saying goodbye forever to family and loved ones, that it's obviously not a good experience, but you can have a conscious choice to see the good and see God working.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, okay,
Yeah.
that's an interesting point of
Right.
joy is not just a feeling.
Right.
It's not even necessarily a thought I'm going to have. Because I'm going to get into that a little bit more. But it's choosing to see
The good.
the good, even
Yeah.
in hard times.
Yeah.
And so it's fascinating whether Laban really thought that or not.
Right. He's sus.
Nice.
Yeah.
I don't think so. But interesting, it was first brought up there. The first mention of it in the New Testament then
Mm-hmm.
is in Matthew 2:10, which has to do with the wise men.
Yep.
Which that one makes a lot more sense.
Right. I would be rejoicing in that context.
But here's the thing. So I have 2 points I want to just bring out with joy. The first one, I'll tell you straight up. The first one is it's an active expression.
Which is so fitting for Hebrew.
Yes. And then number 2, I'll tell you it's not an individual experience. It's a shared experience. So now let me back up and explain the first one. Like Erica said, that's so typical for Hebrew because we've talked about many times the word faith.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just knowing something.
Right.
It's your action plus your belief. So it makes sense then that joy is not just a feeling, it's your action that goes with it. And so what I was finding is joy is about concrete actions. Things like clapping, dancing, shouting.
Right.
It's part of what you do.
I was just thinking, like, we just went and saw, as a family, Beauty and the Beast live at our college.
Local college.
And at the end of each song, everybody started clapping.
Oh, yeah.
And it was almost an involuntary response because you were like, they did such a good job.
Right.
Yay. And that's what joy, like, you can't keep it inside. You have to do something to show it.
It comes out.
It comes out.
And it does come out in that kind of, or just woohoo, that kind of thing. You know, there's something that goes with it that people around you will see you're joyful. Whether it's your smile on your face, whether it's, even I was thinking of, because like truthfully, I don't run around clapping and shouting and dancing.
You don't?
No, I don't all the time. But if the first thing that comes out of my mouth is positive and encouragement, is that bringing joy, helping others see that joy.
Right.
But I did think there are times when my kids were younger, you know, it would be fun. Just want to get them to clean? You turn on musicals.
Yes. Yeah.
You sing and you dance while you're cleaning up. And everybody does it.
And they're laughing often with it. Yeah.
With a happier, merrier heart.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, that's joy. And so part of me is like, and you choose joy. You know, we were talking before we hit record of, you were saying like a speaker, like they say to put a smile on your face when you get up to speak.
Right.
Because it relaxes the audience. It puts everyone.
It puts everyone, including yourself, more at ease. If you smile, even if you're terrified and don't feel like smiling, it is like in public speaking, they tell you 101, smile, because it just makes it better for the audience and you feel better once you put that smile on your face. It gives you a show of confidence that you may not feel, but eventually will come. Just keep smiling. Like it does help.
I even thought, because I teach out school classes, and today I had a student and I was kind of dreading it because she's difficult to talk to. She keeps her camera off, so I'm talking to a black screen the whole time.
It would be difficult.
And it was just like, I don't want to do this. But she gets on camera. She turns on her camera and I start smiling. And it was within 5 minutes, it was like, oh,
she smiles back and you can see it.
She's interacting. She actually turned her camera on today so I could see her. And it was like, you know what? That's true. I didn't feel the joy in the moment.
Right.
But I chose to put the smile on my face. And it did affect my attitude then.
Yep.
So, which I wanted to bring out too then. It's interesting. The root of this word only appears supposedly once in Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, and Numbers. And I didn't do this research. It came from Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sacks. But he says it's 12 times in Deuteronomy then. And he found it fascinating that at the heart of the Mosaic vision of life is joy, that we serve a God with joy. And so I want you, Erica, to read Deuteronomy 28, verse 47.
All right. Verse 47. Because you did not serve the Lord your God joyfully and gladly in the time of prosperity.
Which...
That's
I know. God's getting upset. They're having...
That you're not rejoicing in what he's given you.
Yes. They're getting cursed because they didn't show joy.
Which, okay, I totally, and I guess now that I think about it, I do get, because lately especially, I feel like I have bent over backwards for my kids to have a good time, buy them something they'd like for dinner, or make a yummy treat they'd like, or get them something. And it's always like, oh, but I wanted that one. Or, but can I have two, not just one? And I'm like, oh my word, just be thankful I gave you one cookie, child, with extra frosting. Like, you don't need 20. And I like, be joyful, be thankful that I've given you this gift. I didn't have to do it.
And God's saying, in your abundance.
Right.
When you really should be joyful and thankful is in that abundance, and you're not.
Right.
So to me, that was like, okay, so step 1.1, joy is actually a physical, active thing.
There's a response that you're going to show.
Yes. And I'm not saying you need to be clapping and dancing and singing, but you know what? If you're having a lousy day, try it.
Put a smile on your face and sing a song.
Yeah. See what happens when you go to the store.
Right.
Not glaring at people, but smiling at them.
Right.
How your attitude change between you walk in and you walk out.
Yeah.
But the other thing I found fascinating, and this is point number 2, joy is never about the individual. And as I quickly was just doing some word searches, it was often they or the land of Israel. You saw it in a group setting. Joy was all about something that was shared with others.
So I totally get that, because when you were first explaining this to me, the first thought that popped in my mind is a story. Years ago, before we had kids, Brian took me to a basketball game at his old college, Hope, because they were really good basketball players. And like the one guy, he was constantly shooting 3-pointers, like just off the wall. It was amazing how many 3-pointers. And so it was really everybody was getting excited. And he shot like his final 3-pointer. Everybody erupted. The whole stadium just went crazy. And I happened to look over, and there was this older man by himself. And as everybody's erupting, he starts like jumping up too. And you could tell he's looking around for someone
to celebrate
with. Like I watched him, it broke my heart because he's just looking around like, this is amazing. Like he shot, I don't know how many 3-pointers, but it was amazing. And everybody's like looking at the person next to them going, oh my word, that was and he's looking for someone to share it with.
Aww.
And I've never forgotten that. Like
clearly, you should have gone up and celebrated.
I should have. Like, I don't know you, but yay.
But yeah, it is. It's meant to be shared because celebrating binds us together.
Yeah.
Truthfully, with what you just said, it connects us in a way. Other tragedies can connect you.
Yeah.
But let's connect on the good and positive too.
I'd rather celebrate and connect.
But I like that of it because joy connects us to each other and to God. And Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sachs also says, we are living in God's land,
right?
Enjoying his blessings,
right?
Eating the produce of his earth,
right?
Watered by his rain, brought to fruition under his sun, breathing there he breathed into us, and living the life he renews in us each day.
So maybe we need to say that every morning.
I know. I have a reason.
I have to be joyful about?
To choose joy.
Right.
You know, because what he ends is joy is the ability to celebrate life as such. Celebrate life today, right now, knowing that whatever joy may bring, we are here.
Whatever tomorrow may bring.
Yes. Knowing that whatever tomorrow may bring, we are here today. We are under God's heaven in the universe he made, and he has invited us to be his guests.
He has invited us to be his guests and to celebrate life.
And can I have joy today?
Right.
I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't know what the future holds.
Right.
But can I just appreciate and be in the moment?
Right.
And celebrate today, the blessings I do have.
Right.
So whether it's with your family or your coworkers or your roommate, can you choose to show your joy with others around you and share it then?
If you've been through a hard season where every day just hurts, you understand the blessing of going, I can just enjoy today. I can remember one of the first few times after we went through our year of death, and finally my heart started to heal, and having a day where I was like, I have joy. Like I can enjoy today. Nothing hurts. It was huge to have that moment of I can enjoy.
And actually, it's funny you say that because I didn't include this in my notes with you. But in the book of Nehemiah, they're mourning the loss of the temple when they're coming back to the land. Yeah. But you see in chapter 8 where the people they've been mourning, but they have a time of rejoicing.
Yeah. Isn't it Ezekiel or Ezra?
It's Ezra. A couple, and Isaiah. I think you've got a couple. Oh, the priest of Ezra reads the book of the law to the people.
And then says like, time to party.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. He's like, enough mourning. We need to rejoice.
And then they do go back to mourning because now the work begins. But you go, and I read that they celebrate in the midst of a broken city because they are remembering when God was with them in the desert and they weren't alone. We have a lot of work, but for today,
I'm going to rejoice.
And I'm going to see how God's been faithful in the past, knowing he will be faithful in the future.
That might be something just to encourage if your family's in a time of struggle, a time of mourning, if there's something going on, you need to mourn. You need to struggle. That is legitimate.
Might be another word study we need to do.
Right. But what if you also go, today my family needs a break.
Yeah.
And we're not going to mourn. Today we're going to rejoice.
Yeah. And Thanksgiving in America is coming up.
Right.
In 10 days.
Right.
Choose that day.
Right.
To go, we're going to rejoice today.
Right. We might have a reason to mourn.
Someone is missing from the table.
Right.
There's been heartache.
Right. There's a broken something. But today we're going to celebrate. You need that break. Your kids need that break. Life, you need that break. So take one day, even in the season of mourning. Mourn. But take a day to take a break.
And know you're going
mourning.
back to mourning.
Right. Tomorrow I will mourn again. Tomorrow the work begins. But today I'm going to rejoice.
But so for now, you could read Ezra and Nehemiah.
Yeah.
And see how they mourn and celebrate at the same time.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Yeah, that was really good.
So with that, we do want to just remind you the next 4 weeks. Yes, next week is Thanksgiving, but we're starting Christmas, which I don't decorate before Thanksgiving for Christmas.
I don't either.
But apparently I'm starting it on the podcast early.
That's all right.
Yes. But don't forget, we do have social media where you do see a little bit into our lives, how we celebrate, how we decorate.
Ducks.
Yeah.
What ducks we might find.
Yes. I'm sure coming up for Christmas, I will be finding ducks in my house. But we're on Instagram, we're on Pinterest, we're on Facebook. And as always, the easiest way is to go to our website, www.thecontextandcolor.com. There's a newsletter which you can sign up and you get to see even more behind the scenes background information.
Right.
And then you can interact. You can say, what's this duck story? I missed it.
Right. Tell me about the ducks.
Sign up for the newsletter and then write me back and say, tell me the duck story.
Right.
So thanks for joining us and we'll talk to you next time.
Bye-bye.
All right, Eric and I are jumping on at the end of this podcast because we don't know if you know how we've slowly been expanding what we do with the context and the color of the Bible. We've obviously have a podcast because you're listening now, but we've both written 2 different workbooks or devotionals, and we thought this would be a good chance just between now and the end of the year to tell you about them in case you're interested. I have written 2 Bible studies for tweens and teens. Ideally, it's for hand it to your children and then look it over and talk about what they read in the Bible. I have one on Proverbs and then one on Leviticus because after doing my podcast on Leviticus, I'm like, everybody needs to study this book. And so ideally what I would like to see is parents have your tweens, answer the questions, fill them out, but then it allows for discussion. Let's get a little bit deeper. And especially if you've listened to the Leviticus podcast, you should be able to pull out what you've learned from that, what you've heard from that to help answer and guide your child into those questions.
It could be a whole study for the family.
Yeah, it could be.
Or you could use it for like a Bible study.
Yeah, and I've actually had adults go, can I do it too? I'm like, yeah, you can. I just have to market somebody. So I'm marketing teens and tweens because that's my jam.
Right.
And then Erica has 2 books.
Right. The first one I did is a devotional, 50 days, and then just a short read, a Bible verse and a short read to encourage, challenge. And then the second thing I just finished is a word study where I pick 8 different words in the Hebrew. One, we go a little bit into the Greek as well, and just, I think, explode it with meaning.
Yes.
Explain what exactly does this word mean and how do we apply it to life today. And then I added a section on for further study where I give you Bible verses and questions to go through so you can wrestle with it. And you can do it as an individual. You can do it as a family. You can do it in a Bible study group. So I gave you plenty of options with it. It's just an 8-week study, or you could do it faster than 8 weeks.
One of the comments I did see on your 50-day devotional was it's a meaty devotional. It's not a light. It's not a feel-good light. No good thought for the day. It's really got take some time to consider and ponder.
I wrestled with stuff when I wrote these different devotionals. For 10 years, opened up our church service with a quick devotional, like a 5-minute devotional. And it was often taken from my own life experiences. And we went through some hard things in those 10 years. And so I share that, some of the experiences, well, some of what I learned about God
Right.
through that time.
Right. But
Yeah.
as always, you can find all 4 of these books at our website. But ultimately, the website is going to take you to Amazon.
Right.
So if you're local, you can purchase directly from us. If you're not local, check out Amazon. Put our names in. Veronica Copenhaver, Erica Van Heitzma. And you should find a Leviticus, a Proverbs study, 50-day devotional, and Restoring Ancient Words is Erica's newest one.
Yep.
So, and now that Winnie's joined us, we're going to end this little promo.
Bye-bye.